Alright guys, today is January the 9th, 2020. This is going to be the third page in our binder. Alright, so today we're going to be dividing monomials. Let's do a few examples before we talk about the rule. We have x to the 5th power, which means x is being multiplied by itself 5 times. Oh, that's 4. And then we have x to the 3rd power in the bottom. That means we have 3 x's multiplied by themselves. Now, if I'm dividing by the same number on the top, it doesn't matter what I have, and I divide the number that I have on the top by the one on the bottom, and they're exactly the same number, what do we get? 1. So if I divide x divided by x, what is that going to be?
X. What x?
What is 8 divided by 8? 8?
No, 1.
No, it is 1. So what is x divided by x? 1. This will give me a 1. This one with this one. This one with this one will give me a 1. And this one with this one will give me a 1. So they kind of cancel out, but not really. Mathematically, they give you a 1. They divide to give you a 1. Well, then how many x's do I have? 2. And then this would be x to the power of 2. You can put a 1 in the front if you want. If it's not there, you know it is there. It should be there. So you don't have to write the 1, but you can. Question. I need you to understand that when I have the same amount, doesn't matter what it is, because a variable represents a number. In this one, I was giving you an example with a number because most people understand the number better. Well, I want you to know that whatever I divide by, doesn't matter what it stands for. If it's the same one on the bottom, they divide to give me 1, 1. So here, it's not 0, it's a 1. Because m divided by m will be a 1. Doesn't matter how many I have on top. If it's the same amount on the bottom, they divide to give me a 1, not a 0. It's not m, right? The answer is not m, the answer is 1.
Oh, this is going to be 1.
So you don't put it, so...
Because this is a 1 times a 1 times a 1, and then we're left with 2 x's on the top, which is x squared.
Miss Carvalho, so you don't put the 1, you just...
Right. Because, yeah, if you want to think of a division, it kind of cancels it out. Kind of. Really, it divides to a 1. I will say cancel out, but I just don't want you to think like, oh, it magically goes away. There's a mathematical process where they divide into each other to give me a 1. All right. So do you guys see the shortcut yet?
Yeah, we subtract.
Very good. We subtract. So here, k is going to be what?
10.
If I have 12 on the top and 2 on the bottom, 2 would cancel out, and I would be left with 10 on the top. Very good. So yes, the shortcut is to subtract. That's the shortcut. If you want to write them all out and cancel out the 2, then you can. Because I would have 12 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and they would cancel out. Well, here we had 3 m's on the top and 3 m's on the bottom. So they eventually canceled all of them out. But I don't write 0, they divide to give me a 1. Alright, so when we divide monomials, we're going to subtract the exponents. Right there? Only the exponents.
Wait.
Yes.
Okay, so next number 4, we have like A4 and B just by itself.
Yes, very good. So here, 6 minus 2 would be 4, and B, 4 minus 3 is 1. You can put the 1 or you could just leave it. Because if it doesn't have an exponent of 1, we know it's there one time. So if you want, you can leave it as just 4, A to the 4th power, B to nothing. Or if you want, you can put the 1. I won't take off points,
Okay,
but
so
it's the same thing.
If it was 4 and 4, that would be 1 time.
Yes.
Okay.
P is going to be to the what?
It's going to be 3.
3.
And then Q is going to be 4.
Very good.
Miss,
Yes.
is the homework going to be this easy?
No.
No.
X to the X to the 15. Now we have y to the 9 and y to the 9. Very good. These will cancel out to give me a 1. And what's 1 times x to the 15? It would just be this x to the 15. So I don't have to put the 1, but if you are going to put it, it would be in the front of the x. Don't put it in the back because it just looks weird. And then z to the 2 and z would be z to the 1 or just z because 2 minus 1, right? This one has an exponent of 1.
So when it's combined together, there's just, you can just put no y or
Right.
1 in the front.
Yes, I'd rather you don't put the y. Because then it would be wrong if you do put the y because they cancel out.
So
They
one
divide out.
Are you sure it's
There's no one y or just one?
There's no y.
There's no y. Then all the y's canceled out. Okay. Now the rule is to subtract the exponents, but only the exponents. 6 and 2 on number 7 here. These are regular numbers, so they divide normal.
It's 3.
And x to the 1, or just don't put it. Or just 3x, yes. Number 8. 14 divided by 7. R to the 1 and S to the 1. And if you want, you could just leave it 2RS. Number 9.
9.
Negative 9, yes.
Number 8.
What did we not get on number 8? 14 divided by 7 is 2, right? We have R to the 2 and R to the 1. Remember, if there's something, it's a 1. What's 2 minus 1? 1. I didn't put the 1, but you don't have to. If it's just 1, you can leave it like that. And same thing for the S's. Alright, we here, C to the 2 and C to the 2. Very good, divide out, and Z to the 2.
So we don't have to put a 1.
You don't have to.
No, because they cancel out.
Number 10. Negative 15 divided by negative 3. 5, x to the 1, y to the 2, and then z. Very good.
We just put 4
4 divided by 8 is, remember, it's not 8 divided by 4, it's 4 divided by 8, which is negative 1/2. 1/2. Oh, yes. N to the
4. What?
4. Yeah, very good. Careful. Alright. Yeah, this is a 1. This is to the 5. Alright, 12. 36 over 54. Guys, you will have a fraction. Leave it as a fraction. Please don't change it to a decimal. 36 over 54 is 2 over 3. Thank you. M to the 6. N to the 3. Remember, we subtract the exponents. Okay, so our practice today is a mixed practice that we're going to do what we did today and what we did the last 2 days. So it's going to be a mixture. Please make sure you follow order of operation. Please excuse my ear and stuff. Okay. So here we're going to do parentheses first. I really can't do anything with the parentheses on number 13. So we're going to go to exponents. If I have an exponent outside and an exponent inside, what do we do? Multiply. But careful, the 3 is also inside the parentheses. So you can think of it as having an exponent of 1. So that's going to be 3 to the second power. Or just because you know it's also inside, it has to be raised to a power of 2. So don't forget the 3 raised into the 2. That'll work. It is going to be 9. Yeah, 3 squared is 9. So simplify that. And then you can start dividing, right? Now that we did the exponent, now we can go into division. 9 over 27 simplifies to 1/3. X to the, grab to the 10 and to the 3, very good. It's going to be to the 7. Okay, what about number 15? Now, same thing, but now our exponent is on the denominator, so let's do that first. leave the numerator the way it is and focus on the denominator because it has a power of 2 outside of the parentheses. So 4 to the 2, W to the 2, and B to the 2. Before we divide, change that 4 to a 16. And then simplify it. 12 16ths will simplify to 3 over 4. Then we can divide the variables. W to the 9 and W to the 2 will give me W to the 7, right? We're dividing, so we subtract. B to the 4 divided by B to the 2 would be B to the
2.
Very good. All right, guys, I'm going to be doing the odd numbers. Your assignment is going to be the even numbers. Let's go to the back. Yeah, let's do some examples in the back because they get a little bit more complicated. I'm going to let you finish copying this.
So we do even.
You're going to do the even. I'm going to do the odds.
Because the even odds are easier.
All right side? Again?
Because the odds are easier.
So on the back, we have fraction inside and then exponents. If we're following order of operation, we're going to do parentheses first. So I'm going to look inside the parentheses and I'm going to focus into simplifying what's inside first. So we're going to divide first. I know division is all the way down here, but because it's inside the parentheses, we're going to do that first. What's 2 divided by 4?
2.
Oh, it's half.
Oh, half.
Half, very good. Half. So half. Remember, we're simplifying what's inside.
Are you going to grade
M
this as
to
notes?
the 4 divided by M to the 2 is going to be M to the 2. N to the 2 divided by N to the 1, because there's nothing there, N to the 1, right? Then, once we simplify what's inside, then we're going to focus on the exponent.
Oh, that's the exponent.
Yeah, it was already there. Now we're focusing on the next part. Now, everything inside is being raised to the third power. The 1/2 is being raised to the third power. The n squared is going to be raised to the third power, so that's going to be m to the 6, n to the 3. Very good. Remember, you have to multiply the exponents. You can put this in the calculator, or if you want, you can write it like this: 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2, and then you just multiply across. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4 times another 2 is 8. Or you could use in the calculator. If you're going to use the calculator, make sure you put parentheses around the fraction. So our answer is 1/8 m 6 n to the third power. So 17 is going to be like 18, or 18 like 17. Can I go to the next one? Okay, I will wait.
Can I go to 18?
Yes.
So just follow the exact same steps for 18 that we did on 17.
So what about 20?
Okay, so for 20 and 22, I'm going to do number 21. Okay, because it's very similar to these two. So let's start. We're going to do order of operation. There's no exponents outside the parentheses here. So we're going to go straight to the numerator because it's multiplication. We're going to multiply before we divide. So they're touching, this is multiplication. Remember, numbers multiply normal. 2 times 3, 6. P to the 1 and P to the 2, when we multiply them, it's going to be P to the 3. Very good. Remember, when we multiply variables, we add their exponents. You're spacing out. Q to the 5. Very good. Now that we've simplified our numerator, now we can focus on dividing by our denominator. Very good. 6 divided by -6 is -1. P to the 3 and P to the 1, remember, as an exponent of 1. We'll divide to give me P to the 2, very good. Q to the 5 and Q to the 5. Ah, very good. They will cancel. So let me erase that P. That Q. Because you had 5 Q's or Q to the 5th power on top, and then divided by 5 on the bottom.
When you took 3 as the exponent over p, where did you get that?
Here, the p to the 3, we had p to the 1 here and p to the 2. And we're multiplying, so altogether we have 3 p's, or p to the 3rd power.
And we add one.
Yes, very good. Actually, number 21 is more like number 20. This one's more like number 22. But we have exponents outside, so we have to take care of those first. So that's going to be 2 to the 2nd power and x to the question?
So it's because you can't divide 4 by 5.
Right, just leave it as a fraction.
It's a 9.
Leave it as a fraction. Very good question.
Oh, no.
To the 6, remember, when one is inside, one is outside. If you remember, there's that poster over there. And then 3, this is multiplying because they're touching. 3 to the 3rd power and y to the 12. So we did exponents first. There was an exponent here outside the parentheses and an exponent here outside the parentheses. Then we're going to simplify the numerator by multiplying. So focus on the top. It's easier if you simplify 2 to the 2nd power first and 3 to the 3rd power first. So 2 squared is 4 and 3 times another 3, 27. We have 4 x to the 6 times 27 y to the 12. Bring them to the denominator. And what's 4 times 27?
Jesus.
What is it? 108. Question.
Liz, you go too fast.
I'm sorry, I'm going too fast.
At the point, I have.
Yes.
Okay, so like, why don't you just simplify?
Um,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you put like the whole process
yeah. So instead of writing all of this, just go straight to 4 times 2 is 108.
Yeah.
I can. I don't know. I thought showing you the steps would help you. Maybe I'm confusing some of you guys. Well, he's saying that instead of writing 4x to the 6, 27, y to the 12, just go straight to 108, x 6, y 12. And then divide by 12, or just go straight to division. And so some people can skip steps and some people have to skip step by step. What's 108 divided by 12? 9. What's x to the 6 divided by x to the 4? 2. Y to the 12 divided by y to the 5th? 7. Right, when we divide, we subtract the rest. Alright guys, last example, 25, and then you're on your own. We're going to follow order of operation. Multiplication comes before subtraction. So that's going to be 8 times negative 3, negative 24. C to the 1 and C to the 4 is going to be C to the 5. And there's no other D, so just D to the 3rd. Okay. Let's simplify the fraction. Division has to come before subtraction, so we're going to do this part first. Negative 24 divided by 6. Very good. C to the 5 and C to the 2. Right, we subtract, so 5 minus 2 is 3. And then that D doesn't divide with anything, so it stays exactly the same, D to the 3rd power. Are these like terms? If I bring down that minus 9, oops, that's a 3. Minus 9c to the 3rd and d to the 2nd power.
No.
Oh, I did forget something. This was a d1 down here. So it does simplify to a 2. 2 minus 1. So these are like terms. And there are going to be like terms, guys. So if you mess up like I just did, check yourself. What's negative 4 minus 9? Negative 13. C to the 3, D to the 2. Because here we're just subtracting or combining like terms, do not change the exponents. Okay, just be careful. Do not change the exponents. Stay exactly the same to the 3 and to the 2. Alright, please do the odd numbers. The even numbers.